Chapter 5. Lila's mind had been buzzing ever since she left the shop last week. Awaken had felt like the perfect word. And yet, what now? She had awakened to something, but what was she supposed to do with it? That thought trailed her through lectures, through late-night study sessions, through early morning cups of coffee. It followed her into the quiet corners of her day, lingering like a melody she couldn't quite place. Lila smiled as she stepped onto the quiet street, the weight of her questions lifting with every step. The Word Shop stood waiting, its window reflecting the deepening hues of late afternoon sky. Lila noticed, on a small wooden table near the entrance, her grandmother had placed a single antique magnifying glass atop an open book, as if inviting someone to look closer. Her grandmother was already at their table, pouring tea. "Lila," she said, looking up with a knowing smile, "I can see the questions swirling in your mind. Tell me, what has been stirring in you this week?" Lila exhaled, slipping into her chair. "Ever since last week, I feel like I've been seeing things differently. I'm noticing moments I would have ignored before, and the feelings I get when something excites me. But what do I do with this?" "Not everything is meant to be done with," her grandmother chuckled. "Some things are meant to be wondered about." Lila tilted her head. "Wondered about?" Grandmother slid an ivory card toward her. "See for yourself." Lila picked it up, turned it over, and felt a thrill run through her spine as she read the word. Curious. Your curiosity is an invitation whispered by the universe. Each question you ask stirs creation itself, rearranging the unseen. Lean in, wonder more. The world is waiting to reveal itself to you. Curious, Lila whispered, rolling the word over her tongue like a question in itself. Her grandmother sipped her tea. "Tell me, my dear, how does this word feel in you?" Lila thought for a moment. "It feels playful, light, like a door that's only just been cracked open." "Yes, curiosity is the spark that keeps the world alive," her grandmother nodded. "Curiosity is the portal to the purest form of wisdom. A curious mind does not demand answers. It delights in the dance of questions." Lila traced the word with her fingertips. "I used to be so curious as a child. I asked so many questions. I wanted to know how everything worked, why the sky changed colors, why cats purred, why bread smelled different when it was baking than after it cooled." Her grandmother smiled. "And do you still ask those kinds of questions?" Lila hesitated. "Not really. I think I started believing I needed to know things instead of wonder about them." Her grandmother's gaze softened. "Many do, but wonder is not something you grow out of. It is something you grow into." She reached for the teapot and refilled Lila's cup. "Tell me, have you ever watched a child discover something for the first time?" Lila nodded. "Yes, their whole face lights up, like they can't believe what they're seeing." "That, my love, is what it means to be truly alive," her grandmother smiled. Lila stared at the word in her hands. "Curious." "Most people think curiosity is about finding answers," her grandmother continued. "But real curiosity is about falling in love with the questions themselves." Lila furrowed her brow. "How do I ask better questions? Sometimes I don't even know what to ask." "Yes, that is where the real magic begins," her grandmother added. "Asking better questions is not about getting the right answer. It's about opening new doors. Let me show you." She took a slow sip of her tea and set the cup down. "Instead of asking, 'What should I do with my life?' What if you asked, 'What excites me today?'" Lila blinked. "That feels lighter, more fun." Her grandmother nodded. "Or instead of asking, 'What if I fail?' ask, 'What might I learn if I try?'" Lila smiled. "That makes failure feel less scary." "Exactly," her grandmother chuckled. "Instead of demanding certainty, ask questions that invite possibility. Curiosity is not about solving. It is about expanding. It is about becoming the scientist of your own life. The right question can change everything." Lila let the words settle. "So instead of feeling lost, I can start by asking, 'What fascinates me right now?'" Her grandmother tapped the table. "Precisely, and follow where the answers lead." Lila looked up. "So I don't have to figure everything out?" "Oh, my dear, I hope you don't," her grandmother smiled mischievously. "Where would the fun be in that?" Lila laughed, shaking her head. So instead of feeling frustrated that I don't know where my awakening is leading, I should just stay curious? Her grandmother lifted her teacup with a wink. Curiosity is the bridge between knowing and discovering. Lila let those words settle inside her. The questions weren't there to be solved. They were there to be lived. Her grandmother set down her teacup and leaned back, a faraway glimmer in her eyes. Do you know, my dear, one of the best questions I ever asked? Lila leaned forward. What was it? I once stood at the edge of the sea, staring at the endless horizon, and asked myself what would happen if I followed my curiosity just for the joy of it. Her grandmother spoke as though offering a secret. Lila tilted her head. And what happened? Her grandmother chuckled. I boarded a ship the very next day. No plan, no itinerary, just the promise to follow whatever intrigued me most. That single question led me to an island where I learned a word that had no direct translation in English, one that meant the joy of discovering something you were never looking for. That word changed the way I see the world forever. Lila's eyes widened. What was the word? Her grandmother's smile deepened. I wrote it down for you, Lila. It's somewhere in the shop, waiting for you to find it. But you see, the magic was never just in the answer. It was in the journey to uncover it. Lila sat back, absorbing this. So the right questions don't just lead to answers, they lead to adventures. Exactly, her grandmother beamed. So tell me, what question is waiting inside you right now? Lila hesitated, then let out a small breath of laughter. You always seem to know the right questions to ask. Please tell me another story about a question you asked. Her grandmother's eyes sparkled as she leaned back in her chair. Oh, my love, when I was a young girl, I used to visit a little bookshop on the corner of my street. It was run by a man with the kindest eyes and the most fascinating collection of books. One day, I found an old leather-bound book with no title, just a small embossed symbol on the front. It was wrapped in cellophane to protect it, and I knew the wrapped books were special. I picked it up, I turned it over in my hands and asked, "What is this book about?" She chuckled. The shopkeeper looked at me with a knowing smile and said, "That is a question only you can answer." I almost put it back, but something inside me had to know, so I bought it. And do you know what happened? Lila shook her head, eyes wide. What? That book led me to a world of words I had never imagined. Her grandmother's smile softened. Inside was a collection of the favorite words of the children of a family who traveled all over the world. Each word was in a different language and had a story about the adventures the word took them on. It was magic. It opened a dream for me of traveling the world, of collecting and sharing words and books. And that single question led me on the journey that eventually became the Word Shop. Lila's mouth parted slightly. So if you had not asked the question, none of this might exist? Her grandmother nodded. Curiosity is the root of every great adventure. A question ignored is a door left closed, and sometimes the simplest ones hold the greatest magic. Lila hesitated, the weight of the moment pressing gently against her thoughts. She had so many questions swirling inside her, but which one truly mattered? She took a slow breath, then straightened in her chair. How do I know when a question is the right one? Her grandmother's smile widened. Ah, my dear, that is a question worth asking. The right question feels like a door unlocking, not a wall closing in. It sparks something inside you, excitement, wonder, maybe even a little fear. But most of all, it makes you want to keep asking more. Lila exhaled. So it's not about having the perfect question, but about finding the ones that open new paths? Yes, her grandmother nodded. The best questions are the ones that don't demand a single answer, but invite you deeper into discovery. They stir something in your heart, something that whispers, "This matters." She stood, arms opening to the word shop, and continued. Ask, and the world will shift. Ask, and paths will form where none existed before. Ask, and something unseen, something magnificent will rise to meet you. The universe is listening. It has been waiting, not for someone else, for you, waiting for you, wondering, what will you ask next? Her voice softened as if sharing a secret from the stars. And in the space before the answer arrives, listen closely, for something ancient and vast is leaning in. something you cannot yet name but have always known. And it too is asking for you. Lila watched her grandmother, whose words shimmered around her like a path being lit one firefly at a time. In the hush of that sacred moment, between the seen and the unseen, between the question and the becoming, something stirs. A whisper, a knowing, a nudge that asks not for certainty first, but for openness, for a single step. You feel it. The question becomes a compass. Curiosity becomes clarity. And then, like the quiet rise of dawn, clarity becomes certainty. You were never merely asking a question. You were always calling something home. And home is not just a place. It's a direction only your soul recognizes. And so you breathe, you listen, you step, not because you are ready, but because you remember. The light spills from you, effortless and overflowing, each breath, each choice, each certainty born from wonder. And in the great golden hush of that moment, the universe itself smiles in recognition of you. Grandmother glowed as she looked at Lila. Lila traced her finger over the word curious, feeling the pulse of something ancient and true, whispering again, you were never merely asking a question. You were always calling something home.